Welcome. We're so glad you're here. In a world that's moving faster than ever, it's easy to feel like generations are growing apart. We live in separate digital spaces, speak different cultural languages, and sometimes misunderstand more than we connect. But beneath the noise, there's something timeless, something deeper than age, louder than trend. Time is a strange thing. It moves forward endlessly, but it carries all of us with it, young and old, past and future. It builds bridges we don't always cross and walls we often don't see. Sometimes we treat age like a dividing line, as if wisdom belongs only to the old, as if innovation belongs only to the young. But what if the most powerful truths live in the space between? What if everything we need to know is already known by someone older than us or younger than us, just waiting to be shared? This is the story of two people, two lifetimes, one conversation, and the wisdom exchanged across 60 years. This is the story of Walter and Maya. This is Generations. Walter is 82. He's the kind of man who still wears a watch with hands. He knows how to fix a leaky faucet, carve a turkey, and parallel park with ease. He reads physical newspapers and prefers handwritten notes over emails. And then there's Maya. She's 20, a university student who was born into the age of Wi-Fi and streaming and FaceTime. She navigates the world with one hand on her phone and the other reaching for something meaningful. She knows about social justice, climate anxiety, and self-awareness. She's grown up online in a world where news breaks faster than it can be processed. And then they started to talk. The world then Walter spoke first. He talked about growing up in a world without credit cards, where milk was delivered to your door and neighbors knew each other's names. He talked about his first job at age 16, sweeping the floor of a hardware store for 75 cents an hour. He remembered riding the city bus in a tie and shined shoes, even when he had holes in his socks. He shared how he fell in love with his wife, Margaret, how he wrote her letters every week while he was away in the army, how they got married with $200 between them and built a life brick by brick, that you can lose everything overnight, and that the only thing stronger than fear is community. Maya listened in silence. She had never thought of history as personal, not as something a person could hold in their memory, like a photo or a song, not as something that still lived in someone's voice. The world now. Then Maya began to speak. She talked about growing up during the recession, about watching her parents argue over rent and medical bills, about going to high school during lockdown drills, hiding under desks while teachers said, "This is just in case." She shared how the world felt constantly on edge, how social media made her more connected, but also more anxious, how every day it felt like she was falling behind some invisible timeline. She said she didn't know what she wanted to be, but she was terrified of becoming someone she didn't recognize, someone who just accepted the way things were. Walter looked at her gently and said, "I think you're more certain than you realize. You already know what you don't want. That's the beginning of becoming who you do want to be." Love across time. The conversation shifted to love, to heartbreak, to the ways people find and lose each other. Walter told her about 58 years of marriage, how it wasn't perfect, how they argued, how they almost split after the loss of their second child, but how they stayed, because love, real love, is not a feeling. It's a decision you make every single day, he said. People talk about falling in love, but it's not something you fall into. It's something you stand in, firm, even when the ground shakes. Maya was quiet. Then she said, "I don't think I've ever known love like that. These days, it's more about chemistry and compatibility, We swipe, we text, we date, but we also ghost. We leave when it gets hard. We call it self-care. But maybe it's just fear. Fear is a clever liar, he said. But when you love someone, you walk through the fire together. Grief and gratitude. Then came the topic no one plans for, grief. Walter spoke of loss, of burying friends, of holding Margaret's hand in her final hours, of waking up to an empty chair, a cold side of the bed. He said, "Grief is love's shadow. The deeper the love, the longer the shadow. But it means the love was real." Maya, eyes glassy, told him about the day her best friend died in a car accident. How she couldn't understand how the world kept spinning. How she still texted her number sometimes just to pretend she was still there. Walter didn't say anything for a while. We don't move on from the people we lose. We move forward with them. Legacy and the road ahead. What do you want your life to stand for? She paused. I think I want to build something that helps people. I don't know what it looks like yet, but I want to matter. I want to be a part of something bigger than me. That's the right question to ask. Not what you want to do, but who you want to be. The rest will follow. Then she asked him, "What do you want to be remembered for?" He thought for a moment, then said, "That I showed up, that I was kind, that I didn't give up, even when it would have been easy to." The bridge between us. By the end of their time together, they weren't strangers anymore. They were reflections. Different, yes, but deeply connected. Walter offered Maya the weight of his experience, and Maya gave Walter the fire of her youth. One offered patience, the other passion. One spoke from memory, the other from momentum. We live in a world obsessed with what's new. New ideas, new trends, new voices. The most powerful wisdom comes from those who've already walked the road or just beginning to travel. The most inspiring energy comes from those just stepping onto the path, uncertain but determined. The old are not obsolete. The young are not naive. Both are essential. Both are sacred. Because every generation holds a piece of the puzzle. And only together, across time and across tables, can we truly see the bigger picture. We are the stories we tell and the bridges we build. We are generations.